From Studio A at 1 Biloxi Square in Fort Worth, Texas, this is the Grandpa and Pappy Show.
Ain't it so?
It is. Hey, welcome in, everybody, to show number 199. Who would have thunk it when we started this over 2 years ago that there'd be 199 shows?
Yeah.
And next week is our 200th and final show that we'll be doing for you.
Yep.
And we got something really big planned for you, so you don't want to miss that one.
That's right.
As we officially say goodbye for now next week, but we'll be...
well, not necessarily goodbye, but
so long for now.
see you around the corner.
Yeah, you never know what tomorrow may bring, but God, it's been a lot of fun.
Hell, I don't even know what's going on right now.
I
don't think that far ahead.
Yeah, I don't remember what happened yesterday, much less what's going to happen tomorrow. But anyway, we welcome you in to the Grandpa and Pappy Show.
Yeah, welcome.
We like to say it is the only podcast in the podcast broadcast world that gives you, our listeners, an opportunity to voice your true opinion on topics of today without being cut off.
That's right. And over the past couple of years, we've heard a lot of them.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have.
Yeah, you guys rock.
We'll be talking about that a little bit later on, but things are still going crazy in our world.
Yeah.
And here in the good old U.S. of A., the Ukraine war still going on, and I'm telling you, it's brutal over there.
Well, they're talking about giving up, raising the flag or something, aren't they?
Not that I know of.
No.
I mean, they're going to fight to the last man.
Might have been a dream.
It could be, and you never know.
I know they're blowing some shit up over there.
Yes, they are. They definitely are. And our illustrious man in the White House is as goofy as a run-over dog. And I just cannot understand. I try, but I just can't understand some of his decisions. And on one hand,
amigo.
on one hand, I really do feel sorry for the guy because he's not in full mind
capacity.
Yeah, I'm trying to be nice here. Yeah, mental facilities are not,
That's the nicest
shall
thing
we
I've
say,
ever heard
there.
you say about him.
And I do really feel sorry for him in that thing, but my goodness.
Especially yesterday or the day before.
Do what now?
I said especially yesterday or the day before when Obama was at the White House.
Yeah.
And Biden was walking around like he didn't know where he was or what he was doing. And everybody was gathered around Obama, who is actually our president.
I think
But
so.
anyway, it was I felt so sorry for him. I was just like, oh, you poor little thing.
He was just there to give Joe his allowance.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, well,
But anyway, it should be interesting to see where all this heads, and we'll keep you up to date either today or tomorrow, based on when we get the information. But let's talk about the things that we want to talk about today.
by God.
One of the hottest topics in our country right now is the sexual orientation of our children by teachers around this country on children sometimes as young as 3 years old. I saw that in a report the other day, and it just made my blood boil.
That's sickening to me.
It is sickening.
It is.
And, I talked about it. We'd be in jail.
Well, yeah. I mean, basically, and this is my opinion only, raising children is a brainwashing technique. Period.
Kinda, yeah.
You raise your children to be the way you want them to be. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of assholes out there. There's a lot of good people out there. That's because that's the way they were raised.
That's very true.
But to raise a child over their sexual orientation, that's dirty brainwashing tactics. It is.
It is. Well, that's the left at its finest right there, the woke people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, you guys had some, shall we say, very colorful remarks on what you thought about this situation, about teachers teaching our children.
Yeah. Before we
I
get
have
started,
some comments.
well, by God,
Well, just kick it off there.
chime on in.
Now, I'm a mom.
Yeah.
I have 4 kids.
Right?
there.
And I'm sorry. But you don't teach kids about sex at that age.
No.
You just they don't even have they can't even piss in the toilet barely at 5.
They don't
I
know
mean,
what that
come on,
ding-ding's for.
people.
I
I just have a real
we
problem
playing
with
with
teaching sex at 5 to 8 to even 12.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what,
I mean,
that
teach
video.
about having a period and all of that stuff, but don't teach them the other stuff. They don't even know.
Hell, I'm 69
makes
years
me
old, and I'm
angry.
still not ready for all that shit.
I'm still learning, you know. So, I saw that video.
We're having a hard time with you pissing in the toilet. I'm
Yeah,
just
well,
kidding.
that's true. My aim sometimes a little bit off, but
Well, I must be getting better because Helen laid the mat back around the commode.
well, that's a good thing. I saw that video of a transgender reading a transgender book to a preschool class, a kindergarten class. And that's the one that got my blood just boiling.
What? Okay, before we
A
get
man
into,
dressed up like a woman.
before we get into our comments from our illustrious viewers, what would you do if your child come home and said, "Daddy, this is what I learned today"?
Let's put it this way: there would be a little visit to that classroom and a little one-on-one time with the instructor.
Well, I would keep your pillow in cell number 4 fluffed because I'm sure you'd be my new roommate.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would light their ass up. I guarantee you.
No kidding.
And I'm not. I don't even want to think about what Jordan would do.
Oh my
But
God!
having Natalie, Jesus Christ.
Holy mackerel, that wouldn't be pretty. That's,
No.
that's for sure.
wrong.
It is wrong. Well, let's take a look at some of what
right.
you guys had to say. Pauline Murphy kicked it off and said, overall, it is not the responsibility of teachers to instruct our kids on anything pertaining to sexual orientation or sex in general.
By God.
That is the job of their parents. And if parents don't stand up and sound off on this, then that is their fault.
That's true.
I don't need a teacher telling my child that she may be a boy. It's crazy.
Amen.
No, Cindy Gale Roberts Thomas told us that it's not a subject for any teacher to be discussing with any student. I don't have children, but this is something I would not tolerate if I did. Paul Musgrove said, and we wonder why our younger generation is so unreliable.
Paul, that is a great statement right there,
It
buddy.
is. They don't know come here from Sikkim.
Ain't it so?
Kind of like my dumbass dog.
That's it. Janine White says, really? Need you ask? I'm an old Texas ranch wife.
She is.
Jason Green said, I better not find out my kids' teachers are preaching this stuff. Like any other responsible parent, I would be up in arms against teacher and school board. This is not a place in the classroom for this stuff. It needs to be discussed at home when the children are ready. Parents will know when.
And that's hitting the nail on the head.
That is.
That's very well said, Jason. Bobby Lee Nadeau said, I would probably slap a teacher who would. I'm right there with you, Bobby.
What we were saying a while ago.
Yeah, smack. Sherry Briggs Cone said, neither would I allow this. And Deidre Tedford Smith says, I would homeschool them. Paulette Mason said, children should not even be the subject to that stuff until they're older and more mature. Shame on those teachers.
Amen.
Shame on our administration.
That's
where
exactly
it's coming
right.
from.
That's exactly right. Well, parents are fighting back up in Ouachita County where they had all the riots and everything and all the woke things going on where Kyle Rittenhouse got in trouble.
Yeah.
They have a government called the top executive of the state. It's right under the governor. It's not the lieutenant governor, but it's right up there. Yeah. But anyway, for the first time in years and years and years, they put a Republican in there. And then the school board, we saw this morning, there was 3 moms who stood up against what they were teaching at school, and they got elected to the school board. Mm-hmm.
Shook it up a little bit.
Yeah, knocked out 2 of the incumbents. Yeah, sure did. Michael Warfield told us that I saw news footage of a male transvestite schooling a 5-year-old or 5-year-old kids about being transvestite and sexual orientation in a school classroom. What is wrong with these idiots allowing something like that to take place? Would you allow your children to stick their hand into a pot holding a rattlesnake? Hell no, you wouldn't. And they shouldn't allow this kind of behavior in any school.
By God.
That's putting it like it is, too.
Jeannie Walsh said, "This is my decision and no one else's." Darla Walker says, "I can't comment on this, so I'll plead the fifth." And Darlene's a pistol packing mama. She must have shot a teacher or something.
Well, I'm not going to go there, but
I won't comment on that either.
there you go.
Mitch Wood said, "I'd be in jail," and Phyllis Cook said, "I would pull a Will Smith." Jap slapped the hell out of somebody.
Yeah.
Becky Holden agreed by saying, "I'd have an assault charge."
Ain't it so?
And this is Helen's daughter-in-law, and that gal don't play when she's mad. She'll smack you upside your head.
Well, our good friends from south of Houston, Cassie Terry, I love this, told us, WTF. I'll let you use your imagination. See this right here? I just can't. All the teachers are going to know me, Mama Bear on steroids over here, and everyone who works with my daughter already knows it.
That's right.
I would raise all kinds of hell. Roger Blackwood said, "Hell yeah, you go, girl." And Harold Dixon said, "Amen" to Cassie Terry also.
You get a pine box of by God and amens on that, Cass.
Ain't it so?
That little daughter-in-law right there, about knee-high to a grasshopper, and she will light your butt up.
Well, they always say dynamite comes in a small stick.
Yeah, but she's married to an atom bomb.
Well, yeah.
I wouldn't even, just like I said
Grizzly
earlier.
Adams is
Oh,
what.
God, that boy would mess you up bad. Jerry Williamson said, "Go up the chain from teacher to superintendent to school board, then talk to a lawyer. And also include my state senator who I've helped with her campaign." Mark Salter says, "That's a good idea, but only after I've paid a nice visit to the classroom myself."
Yes, sir.
As soon as I got out of jail, I'd probably contact my attorney from jail.
Well, if you just joined us, we're talking about the sexual orientation of our children in schools. And you guys, as usual, have come through with some great opinions, like Skip Starkey, who said, "I'd be having a discussion with the school and the teacher." Russell Curlin said, "I am right behind my cousin Pappy Joe on what he said on our website."
Right on, brother.
Shauna Rice says, "I hope I never have to face this with my two children, but if they're subjected to it, rest assured the battle would begin."
Yeah.
Not being able to even define the sex of your child is so stupid, but to tell them they may be gay or really the opposite sex? Come on.
Well, that's how they grow up to be gay. They should make that decision themselves. I'm not judging gay people. I don't believe in the lifestyle, but hey, if it works for you, toot your own whistle.
Yeah, I'm not going to judge you. I got enough to be judged for here.
That's right.
So
Just like Mom told me, she said, "You don't need to be judging anybody. God's got a lot of questions waiting on you when you get up there."
boy, has he got some for me.
That's why I've lived to be so old, I think.
That's a shuddering thought.
Shannon Fretwell told us it would not be pretty. I would probably wind up on the news. I'd be right
You and
there
I
with
both.
And our buddy Bob Baker said if I had a school-age child, his or his mother and I would be the teacher. Joe Rockholt says, "I would definitely take my kids out of that school." And Susan Saunders simply said, "I would F them up." And by God, she would too.
If she would.
Brian Emerton, our guitar picking buddy up in Tennessee, said I'd wind up in prison.
Yes, sir.
I'll save you a spot.
James O'Donnell down in Alba, Texas. Hello, Alba. Had a logical explanation for us when he said we need to find out why they're doing it. This is a beautiful example of a hot topic where most speak in ignorance. There are kids that have no recourse but to speak to their teachers because of their parents' reaction to them being gay. Beatings, banishment, and murder are all common occurrences by parents to children if they come out. So, yeah, find out why.
Well, I've got 2 words that'll describe it. Democratic agenda.
Well,
John Rockholt told James that the extreme examples you listed are likely anything but common. Of course, there are some bad parents, but most are not abusive. James came back to say, if you'll do your research, you'll find it's more common than you think, especially beating and banishment, which can lead to teen suicide. And you got a good point there.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are a lot of shitty parents in the world. Just ask any teacher.
And James has got a good point. And I will say, James and John had a very lively debate. Again, very respectable to one another and what they were saying, and we salute you for that. We really do. Thank you very much for keeping it very civil.
Yeah, you guys rock.
Marcia Starkey says it all depends on the age of the children, and the first question is too broad. Tony Haha said any teacher doing anything like that should be considered a sexual predator and arrested until they can explain why.
I agree, Tony.
Michael Larson said, I tend to agree, but I would find out all of the facts first.
Well, I mean, if you're going to be incarcerated for any amount of time, you need to know why you're there.
I tell you what, you were in law enforcement a long time ago. I mean, criminals that get put in prison that are there for child molestation and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
They don't have a very nice life behind bars, do they?
No, they don't.
Even the hardened criminals, man, you mess with a kid and it gets around.
Absolutely.
Look out.
Be a hell of a lot more than pick up that bar of soap for me. Sabrina Muck-Drabing said she would yank their little butts out of school, and Philip Hogan says he would remove them from school and then homeschool them. Michael Westbrook told us it's funny how every day on the news there's something being said about what garbage is being taught to our kids, be it in woke or sexual books, or telling them about sexual orientation in the classrooms. This has to stop, and we as parents need to applaud Florida's new law prohibiting that kind of trash in their classroom. The left can bitch all they want, but right is right.
And Sabrina, you're absolutely correct, and Michael, you too.
Sabrina's pretty sharp.
She is. She is that. She's down from Emory, Texas.
Who, Sabrina?
Sabrina, yeah.
She's from Emory?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that.
Well, yeah.
Well, by God.
Michelle Purviance Brown ended this segment. She said, first I'd find out why. Yeah. If my child went to a teacher and initiated the conversation, that's one thing.
Yep.
Sometimes kids are more comfortable talking to a teacher. If the teacher started talking to my kid about it, then there would be a problem. If your kid is gay and you don't know it, the first thing you need to think of is why. If you're ready to get physical with a teacher talking to your kid about it, maybe you are the reason why. But I'm not for teaching it. The media glamorizes being gay today, and sadly, some people turn to it because they feel they've been done shitty by the opposite sex. Now, note, Michelle had more to say, and you can check that out on our Facebook group page. Just didn't have enough time to put it all here.
And I agree with somewhat, but you know what? Gay people have been around just as long as the people that are not gay.
Well, that's very true. But
what
this
part
is
of
such
Sodom and Gomorrah have you not heard about?
Yeah, turn moody stone. Yeah. It is such a hot topic right now, and such a subject that kind of touches a raw nerve with a lot of parents.
Irregardless to how you raise your children, if somebody impedes in it, you're going to raise hell whether you're doing the right or wrong thing.
I agree.
I mean, you're going to come down on them.
And you've said many times over the last 199 shows that the silent majority needs to start speaking up.
They do.
And they're starting.
Yeah, they are.
You guys, we've warned you, don't get the silent majority riled up, because if you do, it's going to come back to bite you in the behind.
That's right.
And it's starting to do that. Well, I'm cleaning it up here, you know.
Well, they've been trying to do this crap for a while.
I know this. Yeah.
I don't know.
That's crazy.
I know the right answer for me, but
sure.
Think about the right answer for you out there. So.
Well, when we come back, we're going to talk about a question that one of our listeners asked: is the Biden administration America's biggest enemy? Stop and think about that.
Enemy or enema?
Enemy.
Oh,
Or
enemy.
you can look at it either way.
That's right.
But we'll talk about that and more when the Grandpa and Pappy Show continues right after this.
House for sale.
Home for sale.
Home for sale.
Home for sale. Home for sale.
We've got a home.
Available now.
We're back on the Grandpa and Pappy Show. So glad that you could join us today.
Yeah.
I'm Grandpa. That there's Pappy.
Well, good
Spewing
days.
out all of our good and bad stuff, depending on how you look at it.
Yep.
Our next segment is dealing with a question that was asked by one of our listeners. And really, when you stop and think about it, got a good point here.
Got my vote.
Is the Biden administration America's biggest enemy? Well, let's see what you guys have to say.
My nose are stirring a lot of shit up.
Our great listener, Jerry Williamson, out in the colony, said, in my humble opinion, yes. Debbie Armstrong Lowe says yes. Who is this administration? Obama? Soros? Rachel Lee said it wouldn't surprise me if that was not the case here. Throw in Bernie Sanders, John Kerry, and Fauci, and you have a full house.
And that's what is lovingly known as a stacked deck.
Bingo.
Bam.
Absolutely.
Well
Here,
said,
here.
guys.
I'll have some-
John Wayside says, I agree that they are our biggest enemy. Just look at what they've done in the past 15 months. They've made us energy poor, have allowed a massive flow of illegals to cross our border. Inflation is the highest that it's ever been. Gas and food prices are through the roof, and we're a laughing stock of the world, which we have been for a while. So, yeah, I would say he's the biggest enemy that America has right now.
That's a very good way to put it there, Jay.
So
John?
why, according to our Constitution, isn't he being dealt with?
That's a great question. I can't answer it.
Probably for the same damn reason all the Clintons people that committed suicide.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Just
understand.
you just don't screw with some people.
Brett Barker said, that's a dumb question because he is ruining our country.
Yep.
Paul White said, I do think that qualifies him as being an enemy, don't you think?
I think.
Michelle Simmons says, I don't usually comment on things like this, but in my opinion, I think he's taken us down a road that we may never recover from. The decisions he's made has been catastrophic to our great nation.
Amen, sister.
You know, and that's right, Michelle.
Jalapeno.
Jalapeno. But I think it'll come back eventually, but not in the kind of world we know it.
Yeah.
From the way we were raised. And
It's
grown,
going to
so.
take a lot of super glue to put back this country that
Maybe
he's
some
torn
of that
apart.
Gorilla Glue. And our big buddy Jerry Blum told us not only him, but the VP and Pelosi. Sandra Johnson Ryan and Mitch Wood both agreed, saying yes. Richard Beeson said, I voted Democrat in the last election, and I am sorry to say that now. I guess I feel for all the rhetoric and didn't look at the facts. I cannot in all good conscience vote Democrat in midterms or 2024. The results of his inflation rising rates has cost me dearly, and I, for one, won't get burned again.
Wow.
Well,
Richard,
be careful what you vote for, bro.
sometimes, what do they say, lessons are hard learned?
Yeah.
But I think it sounds like you did, and hopefully it didn't cost you a business or anything.
Welcome to our side of the fence.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at every day.
Good.
Bob Baker said the short answer is yes. The long answer is not just his administration, but all of D.C.
Absolutely.
Boy, he's got a point there.
Yeah.
Tammy Doyle Young said absolutely, and Richard Wise Jr. simply said all of them. Marcia Zergart Starkey and Sherry Briggs Cone both said yep.
I agree. Alan Richardson said on YouTube that I think the logical answer is absolutely. I can hardly stand to watch him on TV because of all of his blunders. Personally, I don't think he is mentally all there, and though it's sad to see, he has no business being our president and commander-in-chief of our armed forces. That's what going to
Scares
stir
me.
the stink pot up. His decisions have not been based on logic or common sense for the good of our country. Maybe they should let some common sense conservatives be in his inner circle to give him logical solutions to the problems in our country. I feel sorry for the guy in his current mental state, but he has got to go if we're going to survive.
Well, that's just stating it like it is, Alan.
Yeah, how you
It really is.
How do you really feel, Alan?
And finally today, Penny Steele also said yes. How horrible is it that our own government is our own worst enemy?
Oh, yeah.
Brett Barker said, how about finding out what Hunter is really up to? Billy Ray Myers said we had better pray for the Republican sweep in the midterms or our country is surely doomed.
Yep.
The Democrat puppets in Congress now, along with those few Republicans who vote with him, just make it easy for Biden and his policies to get pushed through. This, too, is killing our country. We'll never be able to get out of debt again, and he is so right there.
We probably will, but you better be learning how to spend some of that Yang money, you know.
Yeah.
And speak Chinese or Mandarin.
What's those famous words? The scariest thing in the world is to give a Democrat a checkbook. God almighty.
Well, I guess I still have a little bit of dim-tart left in me, because if I got money, I'm going to spend the hell out of it.
Well, if it's your money and you got it in the bank.
Well, it's easier to spend somebody else's money than it is your own.
We appreciate all the opinions on today's topics. Let's take a look at some of the viewer comments that we got in over the past week. William Thomas asked us if we really think the COVID epidemic is over. There's so much misinformation out there, I just can't decide. What do you guys think?
You know what I think. I think it was part of a damn agenda is what I think. I mean, is it real? Sure it's real. People are dying from it, but...
People die from colds, flu, and pneumonia.
That's right.
Cancer,
That's right.
tumors,
Old
you
age,
name it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but I've never known anybody die in a car wreck or fall off top of a house and wind up with a toe tag said they had COVID. You know,
That died of COVID, yeah.
It was all a scam is what it was. Mark Taylor said our show on If We Would Stand and Fight If Invaded was interesting. It was good to hear so many of your responses say, hell yes, I'd stand and fight. For those who are not, do us a favor. Head to France or something.
And take the view with you.
Yeah, you might be on board with Whoopi Goldberg because you know she's leaving.
Absolutely. And finally, Margot Winters said, I rewatched your show on Mother's Day. Yeah. I swear I saw my mother in a picture with several ladies. She's been gone for 15 years now, but it brought back some precious memories. Yeah. And hopefully, Margot, that was your mom. And if it was, we were happy to bring that to you.
And you know what, Margot? I could have swore I saw my mom in that picture, too. God rest her soul.
Absolutely. Hey, next week is going to be our final wrap-up show on our 200th episode. Can you believe 200 shows that we put together over the last over 2 years?
It took us 2 years to accomplish that mark and 2.5 to make it happen before it started.
But it's going to be a fun show next week as we wrap it up. It'll be an extended version of the Grandpa and Pappy show. It's going to be a lot of fun as we recap what we talked about over the last 2 years and some of Special K's special montages that she put together that we got so many compliments on.
Squeaker's working her magic again.
Oh, yes, she is. She has her hand right there on the pedal and is going to make that thing look really, really good for us. And we're going to have a little fun. It's not going to be a scripted thing. It's just going to be, hey, let's throw it out there and show you what we did and have a little fun with it.
So that means I can drink before I come over? Wait a minute, I do that anyway.
Hey, we may have a shot to end the show with Amigo. But anyway, it's going to be a lot of fun. We hope you'll join us for that.
Special K, you got anything to say?
No.
No.
Well, no wonder your lips weren't moving.
Her brain is going about 90 miles to nothing. She's already on the next show,
There you go.
So anyway, but if you'd like to contact us this week with an idea or a comment that you might have, just go on our email site, which is right over my shoulder, grandpaandpappy@gmail.com. Or you can do this.
You can simply hit us up directly on our website page at www.grandpaandthenpappy.com. That's grandpaandpappy.com, where you'll find a big old red button that magically appears every week.
Every week, doesn't it?
I would say push it, but that's up to you. we will be keeping our Facebook group page up, by the way. So,
yes.
and maybe we're kicking around the idea of running reruns. We don't know yet. We don't know.
Well, there may be some surprises in there. You never know.
You
never know.
That's right.
But anyway, we'd invite you to join us next week as we wrap up this whole thing. We'll call Grandpa and Pappy.
Yep.
And feature you, because you guys were the stars of this show.
We just put it on for you.
We just put it on. We sure
like
do.
I've always said to my amigo to the other side of me over here, you guys rock.
Yeah.
We love you dearly.
We sure do. As we end every show, we tell you the same thing because it's so very, very important, especially the topic that we covered today. Reach out and hug your kids and let them know that you love them.
And don't talk about sexual orientation until they're ready, okay?
Exactly.
Let them know that we love them here just right here on the Grandpa and Pappy Show, too. By God.
Absolutely.
We do.
Until we see you next week, everybody, have a good week.
Take care of one another.
It don't cost nothing to be nice.
Well, we're all we got left, man.
Yeah. We're all Americans, and we got to take care of each other. Until we see you next week, everybody have a good one. God bless you. God bless America. And we'll see you then. Bye-bye.